Thank you, Jivanji, and thank you all for giving me this opportunity today. Uh, before I start, I will again say Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. It simply means Khalsa is of the God, one God, and victory of the Khalsa is the victory of God, not his alone. So, so the topic is very interesting, Shudra to Begumpura, and we are celebrating also Baisakhi. Um, it's a day the Guru Gobind Singh baptized Khalsa, and before baptizing Khalsa, Guru Gobind Singh had to resist eight organized invasion on him. And during those resistance, battles, Guru had to resist because uh, he was being terrorized to give up his ideals, and the state had launched a very organized attack on Guru Gobind Singh. And so Guru Gobind Singh resisted all those eight attacks on him and then emerged victorious. And then after winning all those eight battles, then he experienced that his fight is not for what people are taking it to be. It's not a fight for kind of a territorial war or a political aim. So Guru Gobind Singh then called a big meeting about which Jivanji just gave a reference, that at that time when India's total population was less than 300 million, and at that time 80,000 people from all over India gathered in Anandpur Sahib. And the war cry was that there were some of the hill kings, those who were known as a Hindu kings at the time. So they were kind of provoking all those 80,000 people. So let us join and attack the Mughals and so win this war. But Guru knew all that his mission, his goal is not what they are trying to, take everything in their own hands. The agent provocators, there were so many at that time. And so Guru knew that's why from 80,000 just needed those who understood his mission, and only five came. And those five then led to 20,000 who took Amrit on that day. And those 20,000 stayed the course until Banda Singh Bahadur, for the first time, established a sovereign rule right in the vicinity of Delhi and reformed for the first time. He distributed land to the laborers, the tillers, those who were actually working. So the peasant movement got a radical change during that time between 1710 and 1716. So Banda Bahadur, since he was baptized by Guru Gobind Singh himself and many others, 20,000, so they stayed the course for throughout the 18th century until Maharaja Ranjit Singh establishes the rule. So what became the benchmark? The demographic of Punjab at the time were like 65% Muslims and 25 to 20, around 30% were Hindus, and rest were all others like uh, Christians, Sikhs, and Sikhs were just 9 to 10% of the population. So for 9 to 10% to resist the violence from the Mughals, from the Afghans, from the Iranians, and so how they stood the course uh, because of their high ideals that they did not buy this thing that everything is fair in love and war. No, Guru Gobind Singh didn't teach that. So they never dishonored any women. They never attacked the civilians, and they never. So there were some ethics in their battle, and so how they emerged victorious is just because of Guru's teaching. So what is Shudras? First of all, Jivanji have given a definition, and there is a lot of description. I think there's no better description by anyone. Dr. Ambedkar has given how Shudras became Shudras. We all know. So always uh, there is there are two people, like defined and who defines. A definer and define. Defined are always at the receiving end. And the definer has so much power, so much knowledge, so much language. So, I mean, kind of a temptation of everything, the media or whatever you, in the modern terms, you call. So, definer always has more power, and the defined. So, Shudras are the defined, and defined as Shudras. And the worst thing is, which Guru Nanak, Guru Ravidas ji, Guru Kabir ji, and all Pagas, those who objected, that Shudra has been reduced to this lowly kind of, a wretched kind of a condition by bringing God in it. That is the God's will that they have to be Shudras. And they objected that. It's nothing. The God has been abused by defining Shudra in the name of a God. So that's why all those gurus stood up and registered this kind of a definition. And they asked all those who were defined as Shudras not to accept those definitions. They empowered them. They asked them to learn, to get education, to know about their condition, and rather they should become the definer, not the defined. So when Shudra started becoming a definer, there was whole chaos in the society. So Baba Bandar Singh Bahadur recruited so many Shudras. When they raised their arms against, when they became the baptized Khalsa, I mean, there was a kind of a revolution. So Shudra to Begumpura. What is Begumpura? Now, Begumpura. Begumpura is a place, a kind of an ideal city, a kind of an ideal nation, a kind of where no one defines in terms of this hierarchy of caste or varnashra dharma, where everyone lives according to his deeds or her deeds, not according to as they are defined by someone else. So Guru Ravidas ji, Begumpura Sehar ko naam, Dukhando nahi tehtao. So there is a city like this where there is no suffering, there is no alienation. Na taswees kharaj namal. It means there are no taxes there. There's no exploitation, no loot like we are experiencing today. Farmers are at the receiving end, but still there are others who want to profit from their miseries, from their suffering. Na taswees kharaj namal. अब मोए खूब बतन गह पाई वहां खैर सदा मेरे पाई कायम daim sada pashahi. So Guru Ravidas ji says that he has gone every corner of the world and he didn't find any place, but this Begumpura is the only place where there is no suffering and where everyone who lives there is a brother or a equal, first among the equals. So this is a kind of ideal city where all, despite, in spite of their connection with ethnicity, their race, nothing comes in between, but they are considered for their humanity, for their dignity. So Begumpura is a kind of an ideal uh, city and which is absent in the modern or in the world, but for which all those enlightened souls they're going to work towards, creating Begumpura. So what is happening currently is that so by maligning, by condemning, by all those uh, low kind of tricks. So we are trying to put others in bad lights. And the reason is that it's a constant practice going on so that when you can present somebody so bad, the only hope that you have that when they look so bad, so we're going to look so good, so better than them. So this caste hierarchy is like they created a Brahma, the feet and the head and all that. This is a kind of a human, it's a social division. It's not a divine division. That's the basic fundamental message in Guru Granth Sahib. That these social divisions have nothing to do with the godliness for the divine divisions. It's nothing to do with. It's a human made divisions. So humans made those divisions by using their definitions and by propagating those definitions over and over. And so by creating a kind of a parallel culture of redefinition, and you can bring equality in the society. So Guru Granth Sahib, there are only out of 10 gurus, there are only 6 gurus hymns in that, and there are 30 other saints, those who do not belong to only one sector, you can say. They come from different backgrounds, like Bhagat Jayadev ji from Bengal, Bhagat Namdev ji, Maharashtra, and Bhagat Ravidas ji, Bhagat Kabir ji from all Kashi, and so they speak different languages. They have a different backgrounds, but they have only one message, and that message is one for all. So all those saints' sacred hymns are enshrined in Guru Granth Sahib, and without their hymns, Guru Granth Sahib won't be a guru. No Sikh's gonna be accepting this, that you take the hymns of Guru Ravidas ji from Guru Granth Sahib, nobody going to accept that. Or you take hymns of, because many, the British tried this, then later other, power hungry people tried to do that, but they were never successful. But there are two kinds of, you get political power by dividing, which is a very easy course, which is an easy path to power. But there is another course that's by uniting people. And gurus and pagis way of making people human is by uniting them, by recognizing their inner strength, by recognizing their dignity, humanity. So that's why there is a conflict between these two kind of cultural forms, the divisive forms and those forms that those unites. So they're going to be some kind of a conflict always. But again, Guru's message do not messages do not create a feeling in those who believe that they should hate others. Hatred is absent in Guru's message. Even Brahmins, Pandits, they have their humanity, but their humanity is gone, and it's not only Brahmins, even a Sikh, or even anyone, even a Shudra, when is caught up in that kind of a trap, even they're gonna be worst to the humanity. So the purpose is not that it's not a sectarian kind of way to power. No, it's not sectarian. So when we say mool, man tu apna mool pacha, mool is a mean when human recognize their origin, when they can find their connection to one God, so they become all mool nivasi kind of. They are connected to the mool, and anyone can be connected to the mool. So gurus like Bhagat Ravidas ji, even though came from a Chamar caste, or Bhagat Namdev ji, a Chimba caste, but they caste is not important here. Caste is their sacred hymns are important. How sacred they are, how pure they are, how elevated spiritually they are. They are the best model of the humanity. So Begumpura is a kind of a religious, or you can say cultural response to all those who divide people and give so much suffering. And the suffering then creates a kind of a history of pain for generation to come. And that's what Guru's message is. So I can actually, there is so much, but I think I can answer many questions. So I don't know the audience in which part they would like to know more, but uh, 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 I can say one thing, that Sikh history since Guru Gobind Singh, you can say, or since Guru Arjan Dev Ji, that is 1604, when Harmandir Sahib was the foundation, and when it was completed, After that, the history of this from 1604 is a very violent history, a lot of violence against the Sikhs, and they are such a tiny minority. And for such a tiny minority to survive against such violence, and that's why they remain confined to Punjab and this area during the Mughals, during the British, and during the Afghans, and so the most of the history is written by the British. And British wrote Punjab history from the colonial point of view because they wanted to keep their colony. And so so history is not what you read. History is what you do not read in those lines. So you have to reconstruct the history between the lines. So there are so many narratives. Like you will see, the British divided the Pagas and Gurus. They try to give a definition of that. Pagas are kind of a low caste, so they have a secondary position in Guru Granth Sahib, and Gurus have a higher position because they were Kshatriyas. So they have given different definition in order to create a kind of a doubt or duality in the people. So that's why a lot of history is written from the colonial point of view. And so we have to learn between the lines, and we have to go back and forth to the Guru Granth Sahib. The original message is in Guru Granth Sahib. And Guru Granth Sahib's message is not confined to the Sikhs or to the Tamils or to one nation or one. This is a message to whole of humanity. And this is a message how we can survive in this world when we are under the shadow of nuclear arsenals and so much weapons to destroy this humanity. With the one button, the whole humanity can be wiped out. So when Guru Gobind Singh baptized the Khalsa, it means right to wear arms, right to education, is the first bill of rights of the Sikhs. And so what it means when you give arms to somebody, so then there is a lot of moral responsibility on you. And if the arms are not guided by the moral responsibility, they can be instrument of terror. And so there are so many deadly arms present today, but there is not a parallel morality in order to use them for protecting the civilization, to use them for keeping the humanity alive. So that's the greatest fear. And today, where we are at, so that's I mean uh, the morality is absent, and there are so many mental health problems going on all over the world. And Guru Granth Sahib says when you are associated with the Naam, then only then there are problems. There are mental problems. So we all human beings need a common knowledge that can guide us to our bright future, to to a kind of a new morning where we all can appreciate one another, where we all can recognize the human potential in others. Everyone has a right to live happily and to realize their human potential. So that can be only when we join together and really have a dialogue. And dialogue like Guru Gobind Singh, Guru Nanak Dev Ji, they just went to every corner of the world and looking for men, those who feel the pain for everyone, those who can be together, those who can create a new future for humanity. So, main Guru Nanak was able to collect so many of them, like 30 saints, sacred hymns he collected. And then his most important task after he came back was who gonna, keep this legacy intact? Who gonna do that? And so that is an amazing example in human history that all the gurus, those who were appointed, so there was only one test for them, that they would not compromise on anything, because now the sacred hymns of the saints, those who happen to be Shudras, to according to their definition, but not to Guru Nanak's definition. To Guru Nanak, the purest of the pure he could find. But in the modern society, they were condemned as Shudras, not fit to give a message to the world. So when Guru Nanak recognized their spiritual heights and ordered his successors not to compromise even a one vowel of their hymns. So that was the test. And the second guru and fifth guru even was tortured just for that he was asked to delete Shudra's hymns from the Guru Granth Sahib. He was asked to delete some lines which were had a reference to Muslims, so which he all rejected, and he refused to pay the jizya, that you have to pay tax in order to practice your faith. I mean, how you can practice your faith if you are doing it under fear of others, fear of the those who have power. So faith can be only promoted or can be kept if you are fearless. With the fear, you cannot be near God. To be fearless, only you can have God in you. So that's the brief message of the gurus. But your questions would give me some kind of a clue what I can highlight. And thank you, I think, for listening to me. And I really feel honored. It's a great moment for me, because we all are kind of, when we are considering these good things, so we form a kind of a satsangat. Satsangat. Satsangat is when we are all not doing any kind of other politics, but only trying to understand our pain and trying to how to liberate ourselves from this pain and how to become human. And so that's the true Sangat. So thank you very much.
What is the meaning of Nam, Ji? What is the meaning of Nam?
Okay, I will. Let me. I think I can better explain this. Can I share screen?
Yes, of course.
Okay. Can you enable screen? Sharing screen?
Yes,
I can do that.
Derek?
Yeah.
Okay. You allow? Okay. Yes.
You can go now, sir.
Now? Okay. All right. So here is So Naam, what is Naam? Naam is just a name.
Okay.
Okay. So why we do need name when we are more than one? Because then only the name is needed when there are more than one. But when God is one, so all names, whatever you give names, still it's one. All those names are true or equally untrue. Okay. So Naam is a neutral for God, neutral, secular, non-specific.
Okay.
And specific names are like Allah, Ram, Rahim, Krishan, Vaheguru, Isa, Hari, Swami, Kartar. So as there are thousands of languages, so there may be 1,000 different names of the Naam. Those, and these are Guru Granth Sahib on page 19. Those who have forgotten Naam are caught in duality. They putrefy and die and are consumed by the fire of desire. So only Naam can alleviate our suffering, our duality, our fear. When you meet a true Guru, you can discover Naam. One recognizes a true Guru, meeting whom you discover Naam. So Naam is, so you belong to Muslim right here, Allah. We write Vaheguru, but in Guru Granth Sahib, there is not one name. There is Aval Allah Noor Paya Kudrat ke sab bande. Ek Noor te sab jag upja kaun pale kaun mande. So it means Aval Allah, the first God created light, and everything is born of that light. When everything is born from that light, then how you can say that certain people are good and others are bad? So it simply means that we all are Kam, Krodh, Lo, Moh, Hankar. So that's our Kam is a lust, anger, and greed, and ego, and all these. We all are in this by, having kind of internal battle between when you win over all these desires. So then you become closer to Nam. So Nam is just a neutral name of God, and in any culture, any language, you can fill that, but still it is a Nam.
Okay.
Yes. Any other questions? So eternal Guru. Eternal Guru is just like in Guru Gobind Singh's hymns, it says, Ad Ant Eko Tara Soi Guru Samjhe Hamara. It means right from the beginning of this earth and to the end of this earth, whenever it's going to be, there is only one Guru, one God, one Guru. And that one Guru is my Guru. So what it means that this Guru's teachings have been right from the beginning the same, and they're going to stay the same. And that is how we can help others, how we can be, when in a short short span of this life, how we can attain our highest self. So that's only one teaching, and that's one Guru. So Gurmukh is who follows teaching of the Guru. Manmukh is who follows the mind, and she is a slave of 5 mighty demons: lust, anger, greed, attachment, ego, pride. The struggle is internal. For a Sikh, this struggle is internal first. The Sikh has to win this battle first before he goes to the world. So that's a very internal struggle. So in Guru Granth Sahib, if you see, these are 15 pagas, and there are other 15 other bards. So there are total 30. Bhagat Freed, he is a Sufi saint, a Muslim. Bhagat Kabir, again a Muslim, a Sufi. Bhagat Tulochan, Bhagat Tanna, they come from different background. Bhagat Tanna from a Jat background, Bhagat Beni, Bhagat Pikhan, Muslim, Bhagat Jadev, a Brahmin, Bhagat Namdev, a Chimba, Bhagat Parmanand, a Brahmin, Bhagat Pipa was a actually an emperor, but he just abdicated his throne and went to the forest in order to find his true self. Bhagat Ramanand, the Brahmin, Bhagat Sanna is a kind of a from a butcher caste. His father was a butcher, and he witnessed how animals are being cut, and then he became so close to God, and then he, there is one hymn in Guru Granth Sahib, Bhagat Singh, Bhagat Surdas. So all these are, so there is a diversity of voices in Guru Granth Sahib. There's not one voice, there's diversity of voices. There's not one language. There are so many languages, but they are written in Gurmukhi script. You have Sanskrit, you have so many other nuances, um, like Bhagat Namdev, you in Marathi's overtones you can see there. So, and Guru Nanak lived through the time 1469 is Guru Nanak's birth, and 1708 is Guru Gobind Singh's. So between this period, this whole Sikhism came into being. So what Nanak preached, he says Nanak seeks the company of the lowest of the low class, the very meekest of the meek. Why should he try to compete with great? In the place where the lowly are cared for, there the blessings of your glance of grace rain down. So it's like a niche under niche jat, nichi hu at niche. Nanak tinke sang saath, baddeon so kya rees. So it means Guru Nanak said, Nanak tinke sang saath. Sang saath, Nanak is always with those who have been condemned to the bottom of the ladder, the society, those who are suffering so much. So Nanak is always with them. So he always seeks their company. And he says, I have nothing to do with those great or the high ups or high caste. So that's a mandate Guru Nanak gave to the Sikhs. And he says, I have nothing to do with those great or the high ups or high caste. Yeah, great or high ups. That's a mandate. Can you repeat your question, please?
Ji, actually, whenever any ideals or a good news, good message comes from the gurus, immediately Brahmins wanted to get a proprietor of that message. Still, the Brahmins are not ready to take Guru Granth Sahib as their Guru's message. Why, Ji? Because here also, Thiruvalluvar, today is the we people, Tamil people also praising, and as well as we are also adopting Thiruvalluvar as our gurus, our Tamil gurus. So nowadays, BJP and all the other Hindutva forces wanted to give one space, saffron space to Thiruvalluvar. But that Brahminical force is not ready to give a saffron spaces to our gurus. Why?
Why? Okay. So Guru's message is in contradiction to all the Vedic
Okay.
philosophy.
Okay.
So, in the sense, in what sense? Um, the basic Varna Ashram Dharma,
Mm.
that's in, so Guru has in Bani, they have Vedas knowledge. Vedas, they acknowledge that there is a knowledge, but that knowledge is kind of a trikoti, threefold kind of a knowledge. And so that kind of a knowledge creates duality,
Mm.
suffering.
Mm.
And so gurus cannot associate it with that kind of a knowledge.
Mm.
So that's why they say that the Sikh, where the Sikh path is, he gonna be the fourth stage, beyond third stage.
Mm.
So that's Tragun. Tragun is very much mentioned in Guru Granth Sahib many times. So
Mm.
Tragun is a gun of Veda,
Okay.
and Tragun is a gun of Maya. Maya is all temptation. The Tragun is a gun of the world, this worldly gun. But uh, the the fourth place is known as beyond these three guns, and that's of the Sikhs. Those Sikhs are who are continuously learning, who
Mm.
are informing themselves. I mean, they are revising, learning, and trying to resist the temptation of the trigun. So that's why. And one more reason why Guru Granth Sahib, I think Guru Granth Sahib would have easily become the Brahmins and others. They would have made Guru Granth
Fifth,
Sahib as the fifth Veda
fifth Veda.
easily,
Mm.
had there been no Bhagat Ravidas ji in it, had there
Okay.
been no Kabir in it. Now,
Okay.
Bhagat Ravidas is a Shudra, and
Mm.
according to Shastras, Shudras have no right to give a
Mm.
moral message.
Correct. 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 Correct.
So that's
Correct.
why Guru Arjan Dev Ji has
Mm.
been tortured according to the Manu Samriti code.
Okay. Okay.
Guru Arjan Dev Ji, when the hot sand is put on him, red hot iron is thrust in his eyes, and all that. So all those cruel punishments are described in Manu Simriti for
Mm.
those Shudras, those who dare to learn sacred hymns.
Okay.
So that's because the Shastra knowledge and this there is some kind of you know there's no harmonization, but it's not. There are others, those who understand, they can see the difference. And
Okay. Okay.
so Guru Nanak always encouraged rational thinking.
Mm. Mm.
When the
Like a
story of
Periyar. Like a Periyar
yeah
in Tamil Nadu.
Hardwar,
Mm.
then he was watering his
Mm.
fields,
Mm.
and
Mm.
then he just reasoned with those pandits that when your water can 1,000 miles on the sun, why can't
Correct.
200 miles my fields over there?
The same incident happened in Tamil Nadu also. The Periyar did the same.
Yeah,
uh,
yeah, yeah,
uh, 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 mm, mm. Thank you very much, Ji. Very excellent. Continuously, we have to meditate. Weekly once, we are going to meditate all our gurus' messages. Uh, so, time is very short.
yeah.
Uh,
No, thank you for
thank you
giving
very
this
much,
opportunity.
Ji.
I
So
don't know whether
continuously
if I
you two also participate in next sessions also. Try to
I'll try my best.
try your best, Vijay. Thank
Yeah,
you.
thank you.
Thank you very much.
Jeevan, I have a question with
Okay,
Amrik
okay.
Singh.
Dr. Amrik Singh. Yeah, okay. Tell,
All right,
tell.
thank you.
Shall I
Yes.
ask him?
Yes, yes, yes.
Is your name, sir?
I am Sadasivam from Chennai, sir.
Oh, Chennai. Okay, all right,
Yes,
sir.
sir. Professor, I was enlightened about the. Hello?
Yes, yes, please.
Do you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yes.
Yes, yes. I was enlightened about the history of all these gurus of Sikhism. Now I want to have an explanation from you about Begumpura. Can you split the word Begum plus Pura and give the meaning?
Yes. Begum is a gum. Gum is like a suffering, when you feel alienated, when you are not part of the mainstream. When, like 2, 3 of families become together and you are left alone, there is a gum, So, Begum, where there is no gum, there is no suffering. Begumpura.
What do you mean by Puram, sir? Pura.
Puram is a place, city, or kind of a settlement.
Tamil word, no?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, settlement of humans, where a living village or living city, thriving city, Puram. So,
actually, this I want to bring to the notice of all my members. See, Puram in Tamil means a place where people live.
yes.
Or it can be also called a holy place.
Yes.
The communities merge and live peacefully. That is called Puram.
Yeah.
Puram becomes Pura and Puri in several languages.
Yeah.
So
That's
exactly, Begumpura, I now come to understand this is a combination of different cultures and different ethos. Thank you. And another literal meaning of Nam in Tamil is Nam in Tamil literally means we. Generally, we think about as I, but we should think of we. The Nam means in Tamil it becomes we. So there is some meaning in your Nam and in Tamil Nam also.
Yeah.
So it's a very good in discussing with you, Professor. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. So, Rajveer ji, you have some question?
Prakash is having.
Sure, sir.
Prakash.
Yes.
Okay.
Amrik Singh, I have one question.
Yes,
Even though Ravidas, Kabir, they all belong to Uttar Pradesh, where they were inspired by Ramananda, how come Punjab only materialized the integral humanism? What happened to Bihar, Uttar Pradesh, and other places? It was only a thought, it was only an inspiration. But the materialization took place in Punjab with 10 gurus. Can you tell the reason?
Okay, so that's a very great question. Wonderful. So the original identity of Guru Ravidas ji, Guru Kabir ji, is in their hymns, their original hymns, and they are only available in Guru Granth Sahib. Yes. And they are how they ended up in Guru Granth Sahib. If you see Guru Nanak's 28 years of travels and living with all different sects and communities and learning so many languages. So then he rediscovered, because Guru Nanak became a kind of a customer, you can say, who could mean he put a value value on the hymns of these gurus. There was no other who recognized their value. They were simply dismissed as Shudras. Their spirituality was not recognized by them. It was Guru Nanak's eye when he put a value on them. So then he brought everything, and that's the beginning of the formation of Guru Granth Sahib. When he preserved that, and then he wrote so many hymns of himself, more to highlight the hymns of Bhagat Ravidas ji, Bhagat Kabir ji. So now we can say that in Uttar Pradesh, Bhagat Ravidas is remembered by his idol. There is an idol worship. Nobody knows. There are temples. There is a murti in the temple, and nobody knows what Guru Ravidas ji wrote. So his original contribution is in his hymns in Guru Granth Sahib, and they are original. They have no interpolation, and all scholars agree. The British wrote many false hymns in order to falsify the original message of the Gurus, but they were caught because they were doing it in order to sustain their colonial administration. So, like Guru Ravidas ji, Meri sangat poch soch din rati, mera karm kutlita janam kambati. My company is with the low, dirty people. Okay, my job is dirtier. But he says, Ram Gusaiya ji ke jeevna. So I am living in the company of the God name. Ram Gusaiya ji ke jeevna, mohe na basaro mein jan tera. Don't separate me from you. I am your part. Main wahi na basaro mein jan tera. Meri haro bipt jan karo sambhai, and remove my suffering and make me happy. So this is the same shabd. It goes just like that, and where Guru Ravidas ji overcomes his inferiority by strongly attaching himself with the divine force, and by becoming so powerful and so pure. And so his purity was not recognized by anyone except Guru Nanak. So that's why its materialization is in Guru Granth Sahib.
Amrik Singh, I have second
Yes,
question, only this question. Even though in his lifetime, Guru Gobind Singh fought 14 wars, it was against the kings, their hill kings, and also the Brahminical forces. And even though his father was killed and he was killed by the Islamic forces, the beauty is Sikhs never hated Muslims. What is the reason?
No.
They never hated.
No, that's the central message, because if you see Harmandir Sahib foundation is by Sufi Mian Mir. He's a Muslim Sufi saint. He was preaching a message. He was unifying people. He was giving one message. So he became the founder. Guru Gobind Singh, Navi Khan, Ghani Khan, those are the two Muslims, those who rescued Guru Gobind Singh from the siege when he lost all. He was left all by himself in a Chamkaur battle. So those were the Muslims, those who took him in. So all those knew that it's not a sectarian war. It's not against Muslim. It's not against. And that's why enemies are not so easily definable as we simply try to in history. So Guru Gobind Singh's war was not for power, for greed. It was for righteousness. It was for humanity. and he stood because all gurus stood by the Shabad. Guru Granth Sahib was created, then Guru had to sacrifice in order to keep its purity. Had Guru not sacrificed, so the purity of Guru Granth Sahib should have been compromised. And had it been compromised, the message would have been lost, and we would have been lost forever. So if something is keeping Sikhs united is the Guru Granth Sahib. And all the battle against Sikhs and all is just for they are trying to change Guru Granth Sahib, destroy its Bani, create doubt about it, and the whole struggle is of the Sikh is just to keep its purity. So keep everything so that the message is not compromised for the rest of the humanity.
Thank you, Mr. Dr. Amrik Singh, for your valuable insight of what exactly Pura and what exactly the culture of speech. And it's an enlightening message for each and everyone right here. And thank you so much for your species presence right here.
We can create even casteless society only by becoming rulers of